All right, here we go. NBC helping Republicans one more time. They help them all the time, this time right before an election. And no, you didn't hear me wrong. I didn't say Fox News, NBC. I'm going to tell you exactly how. I'm going to give you the exact facts on how they help Republicans. They do it all the time. So, look, we're going to cover the elections, and at least we're honest. NBC pretends and like they get called the liberal media and total nonsense. MSNBC is called liberal, total, utter nonsense. Yes, they have Hillary Clinton supporters, big deal, right? But in reality, they help the GOP all the time, okay? So we're going to cover the elections, yes, from a progressive perspective. Tomorrow night, on Monday, we're going to have 5 hours of pre-election coverage. So many people are going to join us there. tyt.com/live on Tuesday night, not just the night, day, from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern at least, tyt.com/live. Conservatives, you think you got a red wave coming? Come and see. Come and see. You know how you like our election coverage? You'll love this election coverage. All progressives, no, they're not out there for you. They can't stand you. So we're the ones fighting for you. And also become a member. Get all the programming. Get 18 of our shows. And so that's tyt.com/join. Okay, now let me tell you what this story is. So, Media Matters did a study over the last 3 months of coverage of, and I'm going to tell you about what they just did this morning too. But overall, in the last 3 months, the Sunday talk shows, do they lean left or do they lean right? Now, the total lie, the myth is that, oh, the media is liberal. 100% horse crap. It's the exact opposite. And it turns out, hey, right-leaning panels outnumber left-leaning panels on those Sunday talk shows that set the agenda for Washington 33-6. 33 right-leaning panels, only 6 left-leaning panels. When you look at the neutral panels, it's about 48.5% that are right-leaning, so almost half. About 43% are neutral, and only 8.8% are liberal-leaning. They hate progressives. In their bones, they can't stand progressives. They say, oh, what do you mean the right wing calls us liberal? Yes, that's a trick, you morons, to get you to do nonstop right-wing panels, and congratulations, mission accomplished. That's exactly what you do, and partly because the media itself is owned by giant multi-billion-dollar corporations that are economically conservative. It's not that hard to figure out. No, they're not socially conservative. You're right. The general press overall doesn't hate black people and doesn't hate gay people. I know conservatives hate that, and that's why they call them the liberal media. But when it comes to economics, they are deeply, deeply conservative. They love tax cuts. They love how the stock market's doing well, which is going to relate to the story I'm about to tell you. So overall, though, do you know who was the worst in being the most right-leaning? Not Fox News. Their Sunday talk show came in second for the most right-leaning. Number 1 was NBC's Meet the Press. 85% of their panels are stacked with more right-wingers than left-wingers. 85% over the last 3 months as we head into the election. By the way, this Media Matters has covered this exhaustively for year after year, decade after decade. All those Sunday talk shows lean conservative. They have more conservative guests on. They have more Republican guests on all the time. Okay, so now, this morning, they have a panel with 4 NBC reporters and anchors. So that's neutral. Okay, in fact, it's worse than neutral. I'll get to that in a second. And then they have a pollster. That's neutral. That's pollster. And then they have one political figure, Hugh Hewitt, Republican. Who drives the agenda? Of course, Hugh Hewitt. He jumps in with an opinion, and he says, oh, the economy's booming, and people love the economy. There is no progressive to counter it, so all they're doing is having a conversation about how awesome is Donald Trump and how awesome is the economy. There's no conservative to say, hey, you know what? That's actually not true. Wages are declining under Donald Trump. Who cares how the stock market's doing? I know everyone on TV is rich. I know you guys care about it. I know you guys love it. I know you're all conservative because you got all your money in the stock market, so you like that part. But wages have declined 3% for the average worker. Who's representing them? No one. Of course, as usual, it's NBC's Meet the Press. If it's Sunday, that means you get right-leaning garbage on NBC. Look, if they do the right things, I give them credit. And by the right things, I don't mean progressive. I just mean covering things honestly. So Hugh Hewitt says that. There's some talk about polling left and right. And then Tom Brokaw comes in. And you got to understand something. You don't know Tom Brokaw. You're young. He used to be an anchor a million years ago on NBC. And some of you might remember Tom Brokaw, but you think, okay, so he was an anchor. Who cares? But in Washington and New York, you think like, oh, Tom Brokaw, oh my God, he's so important. He's so important. He's the old anchor for NBC. And he has so much power there. You have no idea. I worked at MSNBC. If Brokaw sneezes in a direction, they're like, yes, Tom, what do you need, Tom? Absolutely, Tom. Now, no one in the real world cares about Tom Brokaw, but for the elite, he's such a huge deal. So what does he do? He comes in and he goes, oh my God, Hugh is right. The economy is so important, and the economy is booming out there. It's booming. It's humming along. So it turns out it's not even neutral. It's got Hugh Hewitt leaning right, and then the NBC anchors mainly come in and agree with him. And there's no progressives to push back. By the way, the report on Media Matters tracks Democrats. It doesn't track progressives. If you ask, like, are there any Bernie Sanders progressives on these shows? Almost none. Almost none. All of the Democrats and so-called progressives they have on air are all Hillary Clinton-like establishment figures. Nobody cares about wages out there. Nobody cares about the average American worker. So the reality is that all of these media are so stacked in front of the right wing, in favor of the right wing, in favor of the establishment, in favor of conservatives. And they did it again right before the election. They put out that garbage pretending as if telling propaganda, oh, the economy's doing great for you. No, Tom, the economy's doing great for you because you're incredibly wealthy. And a lot of your money's in the stock market, and it's struggled a little bit of late and given back all of its gains. They don't talk about that either. But overall, it's done well. And nobody even gave the context of the economy and the stock market. By those metrics, did better under Obama. It did better under Obama. Did anybody on that NBC Meet the Press panel say that? No, because they're right-wingers. When it comes to the economy, they are massive right-wingers. Nobody told you the truth. The reality is, why is Donald Trump unpopular? A lot of different reasons. But the main reason is your wages have gone nowhere but down as usual. God, I'm so sick of their establishment bias. And then on top of that, they rub it in by pretending that they have a liberal media bias. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's why we do well. You want the truth? You come to the Young Turks. You want right-wing and establishment propaganda? You go to the mainstream press. TYT, that's where you're going to get reality.